Good morning, everybody. I would like to invite you to my presentation. My name is DhP Medynska Juraszek. I'm an assistant professor in Institute of Soil Sciences and Environmental Protection at Wrocław University of Environmental and Life Sciences. And I would like to present you a short presentation about soil organic matter and the role of biochar in increasing the soil productivity. I would like to start from the very short interview about the soil organic matter and its role in the soil processes. As we all know, the soil organic matter is the most important part of the soil, important in increasing and developing the soil fertility and increasing the soil productivity. The soil organic matter consists of many different elements. Mainly, these are organic debris from plants and animals decomposing in soil. Of course, these materials are input to soil through many different processes, and soil organic matter can be divided into different parts. The first one is the active organic matter, the one that is decomposed by different groups of decomposers in soil, and from this part the decomposers get the energy and the nutrients for the metabolic processes. And the second part is the stable part of organic matter, which is called humus. And this stable form of organic matter is mainly a source or an element that stores different nutrients for plants and different organic substances which are very relevant for the plant growth and agricultural production. The role of organic matter is very, very important. We know that organic matter plays a crucial role in improving all physical properties of soil, mainly the structure, the porosity, the content of water, the soil capacity for nutrient storage. These are the most important elements that can be improved when soil organic matter is present. We know also that organic matter and the dark color of the material also is very important in increasing the temperature of the upper soil horizons, which is very important in accelerating the plant growth and preventing from freezing and other plant problems of young plants that are present in our climatic zone. And we also know that the most important role of organic matter is the water storage, which is very important due to the very dry seasons that we have during the summer in European Union countries. The most important chemical properties that can be improved by the soil organic matter is, of course, the soil absorption capacity, so much less of nutrients is lost when the organic matter is present. We have these buffering systems, which are very important, preventing very dynamic changes in a soil solution, which can be harmful for plants. We also know that organic matter is an important factor that stores the most important element that stores nutrients, and is also a source of the nutrients, because during the decomposition, the most of the mineral substances and essential nutrients for plants are released from the organic matter and can be easily uptaken by plants. And the other very important role is detoxification of soil. When the organic matter is present, most of the heavy metals, pesticides, some organic pollutants can be immobilized in the organic matter, and they are not available for plants, which is very important talking about safety of the food production. The most important role of organic matter is dedicated to biological activity of soil, and we know that organic matter is a source of energy, source of water, source of nutrients for many microorganisms, and the microorganisms in soil wouldn't be able to make it without organic matter. We also know that the nitrogen cycling is closely related to carbon cycling. So if the carbon is present in soil, the nutrients will be put in the cycles by the microorganism and can be easily transferred to the forms which are available for plants, which is very important. You also know that organic matter is important for a habitat so when we have enough of organic matter in soil, we will have a lot of soil microbe activity, which is important for many soil processes. The most important soil functions are related to soil biology, and we have to keep in mind that soil organic matter is a source of habitat, a source of water, a source of nutrients and air for all the microorganisms which drive the processes which are important in plant nutrition. And the one that the words focus on is the problem of climate mitigation. We know a lot about the problem that a lot of fertilizers components are lost during the gas emission, especially the nitro oxides. And in soils which are rich in organic matter, this problem is mitigated, so the organic matter can play a very important role in gas mitigation, preventing from the climate change problem. What we have to be aware that is the difference between the organic fertilization and the mineral fertilization. Mineral fertilization only supplies plants with nutrients. The organic matter improves and it supplies nutrients, water, and energy to all the soil microbial life. So it's very important to put this organic matter in different forms so we can drive and accelerate this microbial activity in soil, and the other things will just go very, very slowly, but the cycling of the nutrients will be sustainable. We know that different organic materials can be dedicated in this process. In this talk, I would like to focus on biochar. Biochar is a material which is kind of new. We know a lot about it, and this knowledge is released in different scientific papers since 10 years. So we still have a lot of work to do on biochar to see if it's really working or not, or all those scientific papers can be more universal when we are talking about our climatic zones and the soils in Europe. And I would like to start from the very beginning. The biochar is the material that is obtaining during the gasification or pyrolysis or thermal destruction of the biomass under limited oxygen conditions. This material is similar to the charcoal. Usually there's a big absorption capacity in this material. It's a high porous material which can be mainly or should be mainly put in soil as a soil additive. What is very important is linking together two very important issues: how to dispose the organic materials which are produced in organic waste which are produced in our farmlands, and with making something that is very useful for soil, so soil conditioner. So this is the link, and it's related to this zero waste policy that it's implemented by the European Union. Now, what is very important, biochar can be made in a very simple ways. So there are very simple reactors or even kilns that can, and then biochar can be produced in. We can have more sufficient or more precise reactors where we can control temperature and the pressure and everything. But actually, it's not necessary. We see very good effects of biochar produced with this very simple production systems. What is another advantage of using biochar or producing biochar is that we can use a lot of different feedstock types for this production, and we can use a lot of materials which are waste materials in agriculture, like straw, like cones, cobs, and all the other things. We can use all these materials and produce biochar, and also produce energy for our production. So it's actually to benefit process. If we would like to talk what benefits we have when we apply the biochar to soil, we can say the biochar has a lot of similarities with native organic matter, and the processes which are improved by biochar application are very similar to these processes which are derived from the soil organic matter, which makes this material like a mimic material to soil organic matter. The material is fully natural. So it's another advantage. It contains a lot of active substances, active organic substances like dissolved organic carbon, which can interact with the native organic matter, which can interact with the other constituents in soil, which is very important. And it's actually improving a lot of soil properties, the chemical, physical, biological properties. There's a lot of studies linking the biochar and the carbon sequestration, linking the biochar and the improvement of the native organic matter in soil. We also do a lot of studies on use of biochar in mitigating the gas emissions from the land, from the farmlands, or use the biochar in the soil protection. If I would like to go very briefly what biochar can do in soil, I would have to do that. Definitely biochar can improve the physical properties of soil, and these properties are the similar properties which are improved by the organic matter, which is very important. So we can improve the soil water retention, we can improve soil properties, porosity, structure, the soil aggregates. Biochar also plays a very important role in soil organic matter protection. So this material can keep and protect the nitrogen, can protect the carbon, can protect the other nutrients inside, or absorb it on the surface of the material, which makes it more stable in soil and prevent from leaching. What is very important, biochar is also playing a very important role in increasing the soil sorption capacity, so very similar to organic matter. And this helps to store more nutrients and prevents the leaching of nutrients when the mineral fertilization is added. And it's also regulating the soil pH. As an alkaline material, it works a little bit like similar to the liming, and the first change that is usually visible very short after biochar applications, increase of soil pH, which also regulates the release and the immobilization of different nutrients or toxic elements as well in the soil. We can talk a little bit about the soil fertilization. Actually, the biochar is not a very good fertilizer. It depends on the process, depends on the temperature, feedstock type. So there are many differences and many dependencies if this material will be good for the soil fertilization. It's more like materials that can manage and help to improve the soil fertilization effectiveness. So it's increasing the effectiveness of the uptake of different nutrients by plants or storage of these nutrients if it's necessary, but as a material, it's not. It's full of different elements, micro and micronutrients, but unfortunately, these elements are mostly not bioavailable in a short time for the plants. What is very important, the biochar has a very similar function in soil as native organic matter in increasing the microbial activity. So we have a lot of studies showing that biochar application to soil improved the soil microbiological life, increasing the number of microbes and the activity of the microbes, and microbes which are very important, for example, for the nitrogen nitrification. It also has a good, due to the high porosity of the material, it can store a lot of water, a lot of nutrients, and be like a home shelter for the microbes in soil, which is very important. So we actually see the increase of the microbiological activity and biological activity in soils when biochar is added, and it's a very important issue. What about the effects on the plant growth and the yields? Actually, this part is not well recognized in our climatic zone. We have a lot of studies in tropical climate and different types of soils in different crop species compared to the European crop system. So it's hard to compare the data, but there is a lot of trials on biochar going on in Europe, and we have the first results showing that actually it's increasing also the yields and makes improvements in soil, which are important for the growth of typical crops and cereals in European Union as well, like maize or peas or soybeans. And we also see very good effects on horticultural plants, increasing the yields of different fruits and vegetables, and actually biochar can be also used as a substitute of typical growing mediums used in horticulture hydroponic production. And if I would like to summarize the effect of biochar, I have to say that biochar, or native organic matter, or exogenic organic matter, which is added to soil, has a very important plays a very important role in improving all the soil properties. And if the soil properties will be improved, the cycling of different nutrients and the one that we really forced to be in good shape, like nitrogen, will be more effective. And actually we see already a lot of good changes and the good work of biochar or other organic amendments improving the nitrogen status, not directly but indirectly by improving the soil properties. And we also see that these two elements are really linked together, and without proper carbon fertilization we will not be able to be effective in nitrogen fertilization. At the very end, I would just like to summarize that soil organic matter is the most important factor driving the functionality of soil and driving the biological life of soil. And we know that the problem will increase in the future. It's a very close future, decade, maybe 2 decades, when we will see the very big problem of the organic matter depletion in soils. Is already visible in many countries, especially in the warm climatic zones. But unfortunately, due to very intensive food production, we will also force with the problem in European soils. So it's necessary to sustain the sources of carbon for soil and keep in balance the organic mineral fertilization and mineral fertilization. Without proper organic fertilization, the effectiveness of mineral fertilization with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium and all the other elements will decrease rapidly. So actually there will be more doubts about the effects on and issues related to environmental protection than the effects which are direct to the plant and increase of yields. So it's very important to make this balance and not forget about organic matter and carbon when we do a lot of mineral fertilization. And in this term, And the biochar seems to be a very good alternative to the typical materials which are used for the organic fertilization as organic amendments, because it's very natural, it's organic, and the work that it's done in the soil when biochar is applied is very similar to the native organic matter and other exogenic matter that is added to soil. The advantage of this material is that it's very stable, so it means that probably adding biochar once in a time for a longer time, for many years, will be enough, so we will not have to repeat it every year, and this makes this material more sustainable. Thank you very much for your attention, and goodbye.